of September 10th, 2013.
I'll make a motion we approve the regular committee meeting minutes of September 10th, 2013.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porto?
Yes.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. Next we have the tax collector, code enforcement, fire official, and construction reports.
Make a motion we approve all reports and spread the tax collectors upon the minutes.
I'll second.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porto?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. At this time, I would like to introduce Trooper Brzezinski, who is going to give us a little bit of details of what's happening in town. Thank you, sir.
I have nothing for you tonight.
That's good news.
Any questions for you guys? Anybody in the public?
Anybody have any questions for Trooper Brzezinski?
Any issues to address? Any concerns?
Going once? Okay.
Ma'am?
Just in front of the Glen, going into the Edinburgh and dialysis center there, it's still pretty dangerous at times.
Okay, speed you're talking, or?
It's speed, it's the lack of turning, it's driving on the shoulder when they shouldn't be, it's going through the hash marks.
Any particular time of day, any day of the week?
All
that you
the
notice?
time. It's
Rush
people
hour morning.
going forward and then backwards and then turning down the street, we're figuring out they turned the wrong street coming back out and then going to the dialysis center.
Okay, is this an ongoing complaint? You've brought it to
For
Troops
the last
Township
several
before?
months, yes.
Okay. Any others? Ma'am?
Speeding on Creek Road.
Creek Road? Any particular time of day?
Morning, afternoon, and the other night, it seems like the motorcycles have been racing up and down.
Yeah, once the weather, you had a couple warm days there.
Not on our street, I mean, you're hearing now on 38.
Right.
They pushed out from Willingboro, now they found 38 as the new raceway.
Right.
Have you noticed that?
I've seen an increase in motorcycle traffic just because of the warm weather. You know, you had that stretch of 80 degrees.
Oh, no, this is the racing you're hearing. You can hear them out on 38 now.
Okay.
I didn't know if you noticed. Since
I haven't
Willingboro
particularly
brought it.
noticed the racing, but I mean, I've seen it on 295 and
Yeah.
it's very common, very common, but I will address it. I'll address it with the squads. You said no particular time of day, it was just morning, night, afternoon?
Yeah, they just fly down that road, you know,
Right.
down to the train station right there.
Right. Because normally what we would do is we would set up patrols at certain times of the day. We could set up speed traps or things of that nature, but obviously once they see a presence, you know, you won't really see much of the speeding. But we'll have guys go up and down, and I mean, you can't be there 24 hours a day. But we could send the troops out there and do patrol loops and property checks, and we'll see what we can get.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you very much, Trooper. We appreciate your time.
Have a good night.
You have a nice evening. Thank you. Alrighty, that brings us to our discussions and presentations. First on the list, we have our grant award for the Hainesport Chase Park project.
Okay, Mayor and members of the committee, just to keep you advised as to where we are with the Hainesport Chase Park project. The county announced the grant awards within the last week or so. Hainesport Township was awarded $88,000 for the projects at the Chase Park. This was less than what the township had asked for, and also the county specifically earmarked two components of the project. One is the tennis court, and the second is the basketball court. So, the fact of the matter is that you know, they are the two main areas of the park that need to be addressed. So, if there's any other part of that project that we need to complete, then we're going to have to come up with the financing for it. What we're doing right now, I'm working with Mike Wisnowski, and we are putting together a proposal for the township, and that would include the cost estimates for the tennis court, and a cost estimate for the basketball, and see where we are. See how close we come to the 88,000, and then we can decide at some point, hopefully next month, what other projects we would like to include
Okay.
in that park. And then, once we do that, we then need to come up with the money to pay for it. Now, the other option is to take care of the tennis and basketball court with this round of grant money from the county. And next year, hopefully they will have the same program, and hopefully the town will be awarded more money to try to complete more of the project. So unfortunately, we didn't get the full amount, but we did get some, and we'll be in a position to move forward with this next month. Okay, any questions on the,
Do you have any questions, Norm?
okay.
All right. And next we have the best practices for 2013.
Okay, best practices is the questionnaire the state puts out every year. And what the state has done over the last couple of years is that they provide a series of 50 questions. And the first year, it was a straight yes/no. If you answered yes, you were okay. If you answered no, you lost a point. And the more points you lose, there was a possibility that you could lose some state aid, the funding for state aid, a small portion of it. We have never lost state aid because of the best practices, nor will we lose it again this year. We are complying with just about every question the state has put on this form, and the last requirement is that we discuss it this evening, and we move forward. The report is due at the end of this week, and I have the report completed. I just need the committee's authorization to move forward and to submit the report.
We need a motion.
Yeah, just a motion
I'll
to,
make a motion to move forward.
motion that you review the best practices report, and that you're satisfied with it, and authorization to allow me to submit it.
I'll offer that motion.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. Okay, next we're going to move into our resolutions. We have Resolution 2013-89-10, and this is a resolution authorizing the appointment of a school crossing guard, that being Dot Baldwin.
Dot has been our crossing guard for a number of years now. She does an excellent job, and my recommendation is to approve this resolution and continue her employment as a crossing guard.
I'll offer resolution 2013-89-10 and move for its adoption.
I'll second.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. Next we have Resolution 2013-90-10, a resolution authorizing the Hainesport Township Committee to transfer title to a 1995 tanker pumper fire truck chassis to the Hainesport Volunteer Fire Company.
Okay, this is what we've been talking about for about a year now. The committee earlier this year approved refurbishing a 1995 tanker pumper. That truck is now out in, I believe it's Wisconsin, and it's being worked on. My recollection is the truck may be ready in January, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, the refurbished truck, according to the bid award and the representatives of the fire department, when the refurbished truck comes back to Hainesport, it will be titled as a new vehicle. So therefore, the remnants, or I call the carcass of the old truck, which is just going to be, from what I've been told, it's going to be the chassis and the cab. Will not be, obviously, a fire truck anymore. The fire department asked if we could transfer the title to the carcass of the old truck so that they could sell it and use the money for whatever equipment or what have you that they need. I've asked the fire department to give me an estimate, a ballpark figure of what the chassis might be worth. And the closest that the president of the fire company could come is about $7,000 or $8,000, he thinks. It could be a little more than that, it could be less than that, we don't know. But the fact of the matter is that the township really has no use for a fire truck carcass. I have no idea what we would do with it. So, this is just an authorization to sign the title over to the fire department so that they can dispose of the remnants of that fire truck and utilize the money however they see fit.
Okay, I'll offer 2013-90-10 and move for its adoption.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porto?
Yes.
Mr. Betcher?
Abstain, a member of the fire company.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. Okay, next we have comments from the public.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I did ask that a resolution be added on.
I do apologize.
No problem, that's the foreclosure one.
Yes,
This
sir.
new resolution would authorize the institution of a foreclosure complaint. We call it an in rem foreclosure for properties upon which taxes have not been paid. And the tax collector has certified these taxes are outstanding, and this is the standard resolution to pass in order to institute in rem foreclosure proceedings.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we amend the agenda.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mr. Porto?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to enter in resolution number 2013-90-11, which is a resolution authorizing foreclosure of tax sale certificates.
I'll offer resolution 2013-90-11.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porto?
Yes.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Thank
Let
you.
me real quickly here. The resolution number should be 2013 92-10.
Okay, I'll amend my motion, retitle the resolution, it was 93, you said? 92-10. 2013-92-10. And I move for its adoption.
Second with changes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Porto?
Yes.
Mr. Betcher?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzpatrick?
Yes. All right, we all good?
Right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're going to move to comments from the public. Mr. Camillus?
Catherine McNellis, 407 Bishop Avenue. Where would this money come from to finish up the playground? Out of taxpayer dollars, or is there some fund for that or something?
You're saying above and beyond the $88,000 grant?
Yes.
We haven't decided if we're going to move beyond that yet.
But if you do, where's that going to be coming from?
Well,
Taxpayers or?
We would discuss how we want to do that. We could do it numerous ways. At this point, it hasn't even been thought of yet.
Okay. I certainly hope it's not going to be at our expense. I've lived here for like, something like 54 years, 55 years. I haven't had a playground yet. Also, I keep bringing it up about a cat ordinance.
cat ordinance.
Yeah, and you keep turning me down, looks like Mr. Heck got a little ambitious and put some boxes out, got himself in trouble, costing $250. If our Times reporter kept watch on our comments like she does the other stuff here, maybe we would have been in the paper about our cat ordinance. We really do need one. People just keep making it look like it's a joke. But rabies is a big issue, and cats get rabies, and it causes a lot of problems when there's a lot of feral cats around. Now, I had a feral cat living in my yard, and I started taking care of it, so I had it neutered on my own expense, but I could have had it done for free if we had the program other places have. And then something, I think the neighbor's dog came in and killed him. So you obviously can't control the dog situation any better than you could a cat situation. If we had an ordinance, as I've said many times, there are a lot of people who are law-abiding citizens, and they would abide by that law just because it's a law. And it would really be nice. Thanks.
Thank you.
Pat Mackin, 116 Mason Woods Lane. Question, how do we go about getting a street light installed? What's the process?
Depending on the
Street light installed?
Yeah, put up. Somebody I know asked me because they know where I used to work, and I told them that I'm sure it has to come out of the township first.
Yeah, it would
Right.
have to come, it would have to come to the township, and a couple different ways that the committee can go with this. Or I should say, let me back up for 1 second here. There's a couple of different scenarios that could occur here. Number one is, it would be, as you well know, much more expensive if the street light is not in an area where there is electricity.
Well, this is at New York and Lake.
New York and Lake.
Yeah, and that's that street that goes off on the angle.
Right.
And it's real dark right there, and
But
there's
isn't
4
there-
pole spans. So normally every 2 you have a light.
Okay.
So he just asked me, and I said, well, I'm coming to the meeting. I didn't-
All he needs to do is to contact my office, and you know, we'll have PSE&G take a look at it, and we can ask PSE&G to give us an estimate on how much it would cost to install that light, and if anything, you
Yeah,
know.
because the pole's right there.
The pole is there.
Yeah, the
but,
secondary's there too.
Right, you know, they, usually what they want to know is why.
Well, for this guy, he's just saying that that's where he's saying kids congregate and it's dark coming down Lake. He lives right on New York.
Right.
But he said he's had stuff thrown in his yard, and one of his neighbors happened to stop when we were talking. And he said, yeah, they've thrown stuff down. He lives further down the road, so it doesn't matter. But this guy's worried. He said he's come in and asked the township, and he was told no. And I said, well, I'm gonna come in and ask.
I don't recall anybody ever coming in and talking to me about it.
Well, that's why I'm just saying I don't know. I'm
Okay.
just asking for him.
I know a neighbor farther up Lake, asked for a street light, but not at that location.
Yeah, this is right in the.
He wanted a couple of street lights in front of her property, and there's already one there, so,
Yeah.
you know, that's not gonna happen. But the fact of the matter is, this is the first I'm hearing of that.
Well, that's like what I come up and ask.
Okay.
But there's no, you know, it's 4 spans where there's no street light, and that one's right in the middle of it. And I don't even have a pole number because somebody pulled the tag off. So.
All right, I'll look into that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Comments? Sir?
My name is Louis Lopez. I'm a high school board candidate. I just came here to see how it with the Hainesport Township meeting, how it goes. Like some of you know me. I'm very volunteer as a volunteer candidate as a citizen. And I know you did a great job for the Hainesport Community Days. And so, you know, I recorded videos. That's very promising. That came, you know, I can walk here from my house. Yeah, I live in the Mahali Garden all the way here and I love it. I spent like an hour and a half. I know that the administration, a good choice I'm in, and wonder, do you have any full cat ordinance for the Hainesport? Do you know of?
Do we have one?
Yeah.
No, we do not.
I think that should be a good one. I think Burlington have one, we have one, a full cat for ordinance. And like I said, I do record, videos for freeholder videos, with the West Hampton videos, and Mudload videos. Now this won't be, my collection. I just use this to let everybody know what's going on in that Burlington County. And like I said, I'm proud, being a Burlington County citizen. I hope I could come to this meeting. I heard it's a very interesting meeting for the Burlington County reporter. You should go. If you want to know about Hainesport, go to the meeting. Ask question like you do in Mahali and the freeholders. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Lopez, what is your address?
My address is 370 South Martin.
370 South Martin?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other comments from the public?
Leila Gilmore, 101 Devon Lane. I wanted to thank you all for allowing Jay to come to our meeting last month and answer some questions with regards to the recycling program. He was very good, and what he didn't know and couldn't answer, he came back the next day and talked to our property manager and gave her an update on what he could. It went over very well, and it improved our attendance when we said we were having a surprise guest.
Were they surprised?
Yes, yes they were. I do have one question, and that was to find out about how the sheriff's sale went on 147 Tartan.
Okay. Well, the township scheduled a sheriff's sale in Mount Holly. The sheriff's sale was held, and the township now owns that property.
Mazel tov.
So, so it will have to be recycled through the co-op office here, and sold to a qualified buyer.
Okay, I'm already working on that.
That's, Triad has been notified, and they are, if they haven't already, they're gonna start marketing 147 to try to sell it as quickly as possible, because we don't want to own it too long.
Right. She was told that it was sold, and I said, I don't think so, but I will check, because I do have somebody who's now going through the qualification process.
Good.
So, yeah, we're open, never open.
Message.
All kinds of information.
Message.
So it is,
Message home.
We own it.
You own it, so you'll kind of straighten it out a little bit. It needs to be repaired.
Well, I think, I don't think I know, we're gonna have Public Works go over and do what needs to be done on the exterior and on the interior of the property, to get it ready for resale. Because the faster we can sell that property, the better, better everyone is, so that should happen fairly soon, I hope.
me too. Thank you so much.
One quick note on the dialysis center. The dialysis center, they have agreed to install a sign indicating where their entrance is on Route 38. So that's in the design stage right now.
Okay.
And as soon as the design is approved by the township's planner, Mike Wisnowski, then I think that the sign should be up there fairly soon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the questions you asked a couple of meetings ago. To have a sign put up there directing people not down Edinburgh Lane, but to the entrance of the dialysis center, and that will be done.
Right, I did notice the new sign, the new
Oh, you
one-way
did?
sign.
The one-way.
And,
Yeah.
that's,
Right.
everything helps a little, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
till the
Yeah.
people.
But hopefully the sign identifying the dialysis center and when to turn is gonna help. We'll see.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from the public? Alrighty, that's going to close our public comment section. I was hoping that Mr. Dickinson was going to be here. It looks like he's not going to be here in a timely manner. He did text me and apologize that he's still quite a bit out. So we'll just proceed for the rest of the meeting without him. Comments from the administrator?
I just have two things this evening. First is an update on the all-inclusive park project. If you recall, Mike Wisnowski and Mike Wiley were in here last meeting, and discussed the park, the location, what have you. There were some questions and concerns about the location of the all-inclusive lot, tot lot. And I know that Mike, over the last month, he has been out to the tot lot a few times, to the area a few times. They have taken on a lot of different measurements, and they're putting together a proposal now on where to locate the tot lot. And he will be at the next meeting to discuss that with the committee. And hopefully we can come to some kind of a resolution at that point so we can move this project forward. The second thing I have is had a resident come in asking about a 10-foot wide strip of land. It's on the tax maps, it's referred to as Haines Alley. And I'm going to give you a copy of the tax map right now so you'll know where it's at. He wants to buy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After speaking with the resident, I asked Ted to do a little research and offer an opinion on how the township can sell this piece of property. It's 10 foot wide, as you can see highlighted. It's 10 foot between, was that Rancocas and Washington? Cottage and Albert. And the problem is that there is some type of drainage back there that gets clogged up. And unfortunately, it's the strip of land is too small for Public Works to get their equipment in there to do anything about it. The property owner, he owns a property where it says 80, and it's lot 3, but it's a big 80 on there, and squared 80. He says if he was able to purchase that piece of property, that he would bring equipment in and clean out that ditch, so the water flows under the road and towards the Rancocas Creek. So I'm going to let Ted explain the process now.
Okay. Normally, when you sell real estate, you have to have a advertisement and have a whole darn public auction, and only after you arrive at an appraisal value, you have to hire an appraisal to do that. But in this case, where you have a lot of contiguous owners, we're allowed to give the right of first refusal, basically, to the contiguous property owners at a mini auction involving just the contiguous property owners. And we can do that. You can do it in two ways. Number one, I can just go ahead and schedule the auction and giving everybody notice, everybody meaning the contiguous property owners. Or number two, I can start it out by just sending a letter, certified mail to each one, asking who's interested, and giving them a return envelope to send a response back. And in that letter, I would advise them that the terms of our sale would include the cleanup of the drainage area, or any other reasonable terms we wish to put in this offer. That's totally in our discretion. It's been explained to all of us just now that there's a need to clean up this ditch, because I think it affects other property owners, if I'm not mistaken, Paul, right? Other property owners may get a little backed up or flooding.
If there's a torrential downpour, it does affect, according to the resident, it does affect a couple other property owners, just in the rear of the property.
Right. So this may be an ideal opportunity, if we wish to do so, to have the area cleaned up. This area constitutes just a 10-foot wide elongated piece. A 10-foot wide area is not a buildable lot. It can't be used for, in fact, it can't be built upon at all. So the lot is basically useless to the township. So anyway, those are the two options.
Are we like mowing it and all now? Are we taking care of the?
No, it's too small, and there's embankment on both sides of the ditch.
Okay.
Now, if you look on a tax map, directly across, you're gonna see a little notation that the other half of Haynes Alley
Right.
was vacated in 1956.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does he own 052? 5.0 there, or 0.
5.01 is the question.
Does he, the person interested own that too?
Next to 80, if you look.
Yeah, does he own that, Bill? Is that what you said?
Yeah, does he own it? Does he own it from Washington to?
No.
No.
Well, obviously, I think we have two options. And at this point, I think Ted, using your, past experience, either way would be okay with me, as long as we let the other individuals know that the piece of property is up for sale.
Under either option, all the property owners will be notified.
And have an opportunity, if they should so, want to speak out against it or for it or be it whatever.
That's correct.
With the realization that whomever does decide to pick up the piece is responsible for it 100%. And clean out and everything else that's involved with it. Okay.
And we would come back later and approve an ordinance to vacate that.
Actually, it will be a purchase, and the ordinance would authorize the purchase by the individual winning the auction.
Thank you.
All right. So anyway, if it's okay, I'd ask for you to put the discretion in township administrator and your humble attorney as to which option to choose after we study the matter a little bit more.
It's 10 foot wide.
Yes.
And 7 other people are but with 2. Ridiculous.
I mean, Ted, you could have an instance where, let's say lot, what's shown as number 81 on here, could essentially wind up with 5 foot of that, and 80 behind his lot. A lot of times we split these things right down the middle by lot. Right?
That's a lot of.
Right.
And it depends on how the auction goes, right?
Depends on what the people.
Yeah,
In the past, that's what we've done.
my understanding is that the resident interested has already spoken with his neighbors.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that they have pretty much all agreed that they don't want parts of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they want to take that.
Guys, let's talk to the microphone so we can have everybody hear us, please. All right, so then on that note, I guess we will allow Ted and Paul to discuss it, and however they seem to be necessary to move forward with it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions on it? Okay.
That's all I have to
That's
say.
all you have? Alrighty, let's see, from there we're going to go to comments from the solicitor.
I have nothing further. Just wish everyone a good evening.
Okay, thank you, sir. Comments from the committee, and we're going to start down with Mr. Betcher.
Community Day. I didn't know we had that many people in Broughton County. They were all right out here on the green. A lot of people, well attended, orderly, except for one person parked in the driveway. But other than that, it was a real good event.
Same goes with me. It was a great job, and it was just an unbelievable turnout. We not only attracted a lot of Hainesport residents, but everybody knows many other towns choose to come here and visit our community day, which is really indicative of a great job.
And I think in talking of Community Day, we have to acknowledge Paula Tiber and her team for organizing and putting it together and doing a great job in doing so. Anything else, Mr. McLaughlin?
Nope.
Mr. Dickinson?
First of all, I want to apologize for being so late today. I got stuck in a meeting at Lancaster. Got stuck behind some of those buggies. It's a very high-tech buggies going down the road now. I wanted to say the same thing. Community Day was just fantastic for everyone, I think. Also want to say I got a chance to go to an open house this week over at a new parkour center, which I don't picture any of us doing any parkouring, but really nice setup over in the industrial park.
Okay, well, I'm going to go out and let him say what is parkour.
Parkouring is when you jump over boxes and bars and do flips.
Okay, yeah, that won't be me. Interesting, though. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All righty.
All right. I'd also like to say that Community Day was a wonderful success, and I appreciate Mick volunteering for the dunk tank there.
I thawed out the next day. The water's all cold. Sharon apparently didn't take her shift, so I had to take Sharon.
One thing I want to discuss is I recently found out that Claremont section of Hainesport has had its bus service for the students attending Rancocas Valley High School removed, and I brought for you a resolution voicing Hainesport Township's opinion on the matter. I'm seeking your support. The resolution calls upon the Rancocas Valley Board of Education to restore bus service to students in the Claremont neighborhood in Hainesport. And contained within the resolution are simple points that the distance walked in one direction is a 2-mile distance at a minimum for the neighborhood. So every student would be walking over 2 miles to get, they are from now, unless their parents are taking them. There is also the concern that we have students that carry a considerable amount of books, and their weight is also a considerable amount for such a distance to be carrying every single day to and from high school. This is an area that has been served by a bus route for decades, and currently at least 2 Rancocas Valley school buses go directly past where our previous bus stop was, simply going right past our neighborhood to go to Rancocas Valley without stopping. The resolution final verbiage states that the Township Committee of Hainesport stands on record in support of Hainesport Township students and property owners having the Rancocas Valley School District bus route restored to the Claremont neighborhood as soon as possible. We call upon the Rancocas Valley Board of Education to reconsider their change in policy and ask for their support of the Hainesport Board of Education and our elected Rancocas Valley Board of Education member to achieve this common sense solution. We're just simply asking that a bus route that had served our community for so many years be restored. I know that this committee does not control the bus routes, but in our position as elected officials, we should stand with our constituents, and hopefully the Rancocas Valley School Board will hear our voice and restore that bus route.
So I have a question for you. You know what? When did they actually go with the 2 mile? Outside, what is it? Inside 2 or is it inside 2.5 mile radius?
The distance is within 2.5 miles. It is over 2 miles if you put it into Google or Yahoo Maps and you ask for the distance. The distance is more than 2 miles, but within 2.5 miles.
And they can't walk over any major roads, right? Unless if you're within 2.5 miles, it's any major roads.
That's what it says, but I'll say this, that there's a considerable amount of roads between the Claremont neighborhood of Hainesport and the Rancocas Valley High School. And there have been 3 pedestrian deaths that I can recall, and there may have been more within the immediate 1 mile area of our neighborhood. The most recent one was a tragic accident out on the bypass.
What I would like to do, and I'm not sure, Jamie, if you're comfortable with this or not, but if you could possibly come up and discuss this with us, being that it directly affects you and your livelihood, your children, so forth and so on. And I think what we need to get a grasp of here is actually, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you actually attended one of the meetings and kind of listened and asked some questions and kind of didn't get any good answers, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe if you could elaborate what took place and what answers were given to you, just so we have a flavor as to what's going on.
Sure. Having grown up in this town from my freshman year at Rangelocus Valley all through to where I am now, it's been 20-some years, the bus always picked us up on North or South Cumberland Avenue and Moore Highway. So now that my daughter is a freshman at Rangelocus Valley, she's active in sports, the whole deal. And I had a field hockey meeting that night, and it also was a Board of Ed meeting, so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Left one, went to the other. And previous to that, let me rewind. School started for the freshmen on Tuesday after Labor Day. And it's Friday, and I'm still waiting to get my kid's bus schedule because, again, I grew up 2 houses down from where I live. I got a bus. And she's like, I haven't gotten my bus schedule. I'm on the phone with RV. They're like, it was mailed, it was mailed, it was mailed. I'm like, Monday's a holiday, Tuesday school starts. It was mailed isn't an acceptable answer for me. They put me on hold. Oh, she's a walker. I was like, I'm sorry? And I'm like, yeah, they changed that a couple of years ago. And I was like, well, I always got the bus. And she's like, well, listen, things change. And I was like, oh, excuse me, well, who do I need to speak to then to appeal to this or, to maybe get a reconsideration? And she said Lisa Giovanelli, who is, I think, the high school's business administrator. So I emailed her and said, thank you for taking my call, blah, blah, blah. And it went as far as she actually cut and pasted my mileage from my door to the front door of RV, because now RV, with the whole Sandy Hook incident, only has 2 available entrances, either the back bus entrance or the very front entrance. All those other doors are not able to be accessed by the students. So she's like, from your front door to our front door, it's 2 miles precisely. Sorry, nothing I can do for it. And I was a little taken aback because I said, all of our kids have to grow up. My husband was a cop. I know how to look things up on the internet. We're all of that internet age. And the information that you find from the state police's website is just frightening as a parent of a 14-year-old girl. So she said, well, if you don't like what I have to say, you can take it to the Board of Ed, but you have to do it through me. And I kind of thought that was like a little slighted. Maybe she was trying to bounce things around or, So I went to the Board of Ed meeting and I spoke with our Hainesport rep. Each other town has 2 reps. We have 1 rep. And I said, this is what's going on. And he's like, oh yeah, Hainesport took that away 2 years ago. His words exactly. And I was like, Hainesport took that away 2 years ago, making it sound like it was the town's decision. And I said, well, okay. I said, well, I'll talk to the township, the people that handle the town, see if I can get some answers from them, because it just seems silly that 2 buses drive within 125 feet from my property, but they can't stop. I mean, if you're doing it to save money, I get it, but you're going right past my house anyway.
Can I ask you a quick question while I'm thinking of it, though? Your daughter is a freshman, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that last year, per se, I mean, obviously, I don't think, did you have any kids in the school last year?
No, she's the oldest.
Okay, so then do we know, or Tony, do you know by chance, did the bus stop anywhere last year?
I was told 2 years ago is when it ended.
Okay, so last year there was no busing either?
Not that I'm aware of, but I also believe my child is one of the older ones in our development. The kids that are older than her would have had a license.
Okay, so last year there really wasn't anybody discussing it because no one really possibly needed it last year.
Right.
Hence they kind of skirted it under.
Correct.
Without anybody really knowing it because there was no one to to actually have to come up and.
I mean,
Okay, so-
we're counting down the days until October 21st when I can go get her a moped license.
It was also very big in East Hampton, too. It was way affected over there.
Well, now, I was told everyone up until East Hampton Farms, including East Hampton Farms, are bused. I don't know that to be true. I was told that the section of East Hampton that is right near Jacksonville Road by that Shell gas station, I think that's East Hampton Gardens, walks. But, for instance, Tarnsfield, buses, because West Hampton's town has deemed the bypass a hazardous road, and that's how they get bused. Even though there's a crosswalk across the bypass from that one plaza to where the Dunkin' Donuts is, their town has deemed that section of road, because I guess one of their students was killed a few years ago, as a hazardous road, and therefore they are all bused. That's what I was told. That as towns make roads hazardous, the school board has to abide by them.
So then, in speaking with our rep from Hainesport, really didn't go anywhere?
No, he kind of just like,
Okay.
and I was.
And understanding, please, that, you know, I